Welcome to Timoteo Playoff Edition. The first game we're going to be doing now, guys, is our first ever Thursday night football playoff game. We got the Eagles versus the Colts. The Colts and the Eagles, they decided they couldn't wait till Saturday to get this game underway. They wanted it earlier. They both begged and pleaded. I guess the Colts, wanted to prove something after the loss last week, and the Eagles wanting, to just see if they can finally get over the Eagles here in this past game. Hey guys, talking about this is playoff. I mean, you guys play at a different level when it comes to the playoffs. The Eagles,
we Golden State in the playoffs.
You Golden State in the playoffs. The Eagles are definitely a hungry team, a younger team. But in the playoffs over years, that's the kind of team you got to watch out for because they have nothing to lose. They're supposed to lose, so they come with everything they got, and sometimes the ball bounces in their favors. And we had some of the biggest upsets ever in Timoteo history in the first round of the playoffs. So, how are you feeling about this matchup? You guys played the Eagles this year already, and how did that turn out?
We won 40-12, I believe.
40-12. So you guys dominated the Eagles.
Yeah.
You guys actually on your way to the championship last year. You guys beat the Eagles as well in the first round to kind of get that streak kind of going. I always felt that it's always good to come off of a loss, so that way your head is clear and you come ready to play.
Yeah.
You guys are coming off a heartbreaking loss in overtime. I think you guys lost by a late extra point against the Pac-9. What is your mindset going into this game, Sumo?
Humble.
Yes.
Humble. Be humble.
Mm-hmm.
So you guys, so Gio, were you there to watch that game kind of last week? You saw two powerhouses kind of going at it, and it just seemed like the Colts one play from finishing the Pac-9. What do you think about that matchup and then them coming against the Eagles?
I didn't see it in person, but I watched it on YouTube. I think that's gonna be the Urban Bowl. I think we're gonna see the Pack versus.
So you think there might be a part 3? So you
Yeah.
think that story is not done yet?
Yeah.
So the person with the last laugh would be the one
To win
that
the
won the
Urban
Urban Bowl, right?
Golden State.
So now, what do you think about the Eagles? Kind of being a younger team. They have matured as the season kind of come along, but they're kind of like a hot and cold team. They win a
Bipolar.
game,
Bipolar.
then they lose a game, win a game, then they lose a game. I guess, what would be your mentality if you were going in against this juggernaut, the Colts team?
The Eagles got a lot of talent. They just got to use everybody right. But last week I seen Dave and they running back fighting and stuff like that. They was mad at each other.
And they won.
Yeah, they were still arguing though, like
Right,
at the end
right.
of the game and stuff like that. But if they don't be on their 100, put all the effort in, they gonna get bombed.
Gotcha. Hey, June, what do you think about your opponent coming up? You talk about Ant, one of the youngest and experience-wise coaches, but definitely looking to make a name for himself and the Eagles over there. What do you think about your opponent coming into this playoff game?
You can't sleep on nobody. I think Xavier has got that defense. When they're clicking, they're clicking. Xavier's the heart and soul of that defense, and he's doing his work, man. I mean, he's got a lot more wins than people projected him to have. I'm not overlooking them, taking one game at a time, and I think it's gonna be a good game.
So let's talk about real quick. Let's talk about the quarterback matchup real quick, guys. You got Dave, threw 5 touchdown passes against a hungry Falcons team who needed to win to clinch their playoff spot, and then you got Roberto, Mr. Falou here, who has come on strong these past couple weeks since being named the starter. What do you think about? Are there any similarities that you think between these two guys, or what do you kind of see in their style of play? Anyone can speak up. You can
I don't
speak up.
think they're similar.
You don't think they're similar at all? They're both mobile?
Roberto's is better than period.
Right. Well, we can say one's better than the other, but I'm just saying as far as similarity-wise,
Oh, they both mobile. Yeah.
both mobile
Yeah.
kind of quarterbacks. And I guess with that mobility, when you're attacking a defense, it allows your receivers 3, 4, 5 more seconds to get open, almost making it kind of impossible to kind of keep coverages for that kind of long here.
How old is Dave?
Dave's got to be 16.
Dave's got a couple more years. I think Dave's gonna be really, really good.
Right.
I think him and there's a few other young quarterbacks in the league. They're gonna be really, really good. I mean, I think it's gonna take him till next year to be one of the elite quarterbacks. So he's just probably working out.
I agree. I
his
definitely
mistakes.
think he's on his way into that conversation. But it's all about, kind of the work you put in the offseason. And I think this year he finished off with 24 touchdowns. I think that kind of left him probably like 4th or 5th in the league. I think him and Sid were kind of tied at that spot. But he's definitely has improved. Now, what do you think, you guys here, what do you guys got to do defensively to get better? Because I think you guys are ranked 7th. Now, it's unfair because you guys played the Pac-9 twice, one of the better offenses. So, of course, they're going to score. But you guys been getting up a lot of points. How do you guys kind of, bring that in for the playoffs?
I think
Defensive coach.
I think the defense gotta listen.
Uh-huh.
They gotta stop talking and trying to make adjustments right before the play, and then they gotta be on the same page.
Right. When I was coaching defense, I always said defense is all about effort. You know what I mean? Like, it should be one guy, you kind of see Sumo's always hustling from one side to the other, but that's how it should be. It should be everyone kind of chasing the flag, everybody
to the
moving
ball.
together, and then the other key is like to get a real down defense is the communication between the safeties and then the people in front of them, because
Safeties, linebackers.
right, yeah,
Yeah.
when you have that kind of communication, then you can kind of pass people off in zones and stuff like that, and then it's just you kind of have a better understanding of what's going on. So let's talk about, you talked a little bit about Xavier. Xavier, I guess, who would be Xavier's? I guess their heart and soul, their defense, but then he's also kind of like their enforcer a little bit, kind of physical style of play, kind of similar, I guess,
To Dom.
to Dom. Yeah. Kind of real passionate guys. When things are going really well, they're the loudest guys on the field. You know what I mean? And then, sometimes when things aren't going as well, they're a little bit more quiet. But
I think it depends. It depends on the rep. If he's gonna let us play, if he's gonna let the boys do what they're gonna do, then then I'll put Dom in.
Gotcha.
I'll give them the same taste as what we're receiving.
Right, I got you.
But if we're gonna go by the book, then I'll let Sumo do his thing out there and cover. Sumo got them long, linky arms. He covers a lot of ground.
Now, let's talk a little bit about real quick. I guess the most surprising player on the Colts this year for you guys, who would you guys say is a guy who produced way more than expected?
Justin.
You expected from Justin?
Justin,
You think Justin is one who you thought, he's good, but he took it to a whole nother level today?
This is breakout season.
Yeah, I think he did really well. I think another guy too was Quadir. I think who he played really well too. I think coming into the season, people were kind of saying this kid might be a 2, whatever, and then kind of coming to the season from the game 1, he continued to make plays on offense, and I think even against the Pac-9, he had a punt return and an interception return for a touchdown. Now, I don't know if he always plays defense or not, but he's a guy who kind of stood out to me, just kind of like a quiet guy. I hear he talks a lot in the field, but I never hear the kid talk.
Well, he really doesn't talk
Right.
a lot.
he was
he's
quiet.
He's really quiet. I think if we had 2 awards,
Mm-hmm.
for offensive player, him for me the front runners was Namdi, him, and
Berto.
Berto.
Yeah.
I had to give it a Berto.
Mhm.
I mean, as far as the offensive player of the year, because
Right.
Berto's been doing a lot for us. You know what I mean? So I mean, but those 3 have been contributing
Yeah.
a lot.
One thing about the Eagles, real quick, too, their defense has continued to go on. They have gone up a little bit. They're actually ranked 4th now. When early in the season, I think they were ranked a little bit, a lot lower. So defensively, it looks like they've gotten it better a little bit, trying to clamp down. But I know for you guys pose a big threat with Berto's big arm, his mobility, and trying to keep the receiver in front. He's not scared to throw the deep ball, and he has the arm to do it. So I think that's going to be a huge matchup. Is the safeties? I think for them, you got Henry, Josh and
I
Josh.
think it's both Josh.
Two Joshes, right? So I think for them is how do they keep these receivers in front of them, kind of limit the plays too, and then it's like when all things break down, you guys, dump it off to Jay. Is the first guy going to grab the flag, or is he going to be second, third level? Where he's continuing to kind of go upfield and kind of shrink the field for you guys. So what do you guys think about? I guess the mindset of I know you guys talk about being humble, coming off of a loss or coming off a win. Last year, you guys were undefeated. So, you were going in, nobody can stand in our way, whatever. We got this. We beat everybody all season. Now, what's the mindset here? Is it more, we got more work to do, or is it still kind of like we got that confidence, we know what we could do when we play at the level that we need to play at?
More work.
Well, we do have the confidence that if we do play at our best, that nobody can beat us. But we also got to get the little things right. I feel like we're missing the little things, and it's not only players, it's coaches.
Right.
Not only players, it's coaches, because whatever coach said, they're always right, they're lying.
Right.
So I mean, we're learning as we go too. So there's things that we know we could have done better on both of the Packer games that could have probably ended up with a win.
Mm-hmm.
So with that being said, we get better, they get better, we'd be unstoppable.
Right, yeah. And you kind of see when you look at both of those games, you guys started off cold that first game, and then it got kind of flipped. You guys started off super hot, but then kind of fizzled down a little bit in the second game. And then it just came down to extra points, which I think is underestimated, the values of extra points,
In the league,
especially coming into the playoffs. I think they're determining factors when you look at the Chargers versus the Jags. I don't think the Jags got any extra points. The whole game they lost by 3. And so little stuff like that can definitely do it. So let's get your scores real quick, guys. The first ever, this game is going to be at Scanlon Thursday. Game starts at 6:30. We're going to have the referees, everybody's going to be down there for our first ever Thursday night playoff edition. So give me your scores and or first give me a player that you think will be an impact player for both teams, and then your score. So just be like, I think this will be the key person on the Eagles. This is the key person. I think I have a big game on the Colts, and then give me your score.
I want to say Xavier on the defense, but this is going to go past Xavier. I don't think Xavier can stop the next level,
Right.
which is the safeties.
Right.
So Henry got to be at his best to beat us.
Gotcha. So you're going right at Henry's side here, and what I will give me a player from your team and your score.
Player from our team in Plaque, I think Jarius. Jarius, number 12. He's our rookie of the year. If his communication and B-hops get better, because the kid's been solid,
Right.
but there's been a lot of communication problems. I will say Jarius and Sumo. If we get, not that Sumo's been playing bad, but if we get Sumo to get focused again and get where he needs to be at, I think the defense is going to do a big turnaround this game, and I will say 33-18.
33-18. What you got, Gio? Give me your 2 impact players and your score.
I got from the Colts. I don't know. They all good. So
So pick one.
I got Dom.
You got Don? All right.
Yeah, Dom. He's gonna score a couple TDs.
Oh, you think so?
Yeah, and from the Eagles, I got Xavier.
You got Xavier?
defense
So
and
you
on
kind of got
offense.
the rough and touch brothers over there
Yeah.
going at it. And what's your score?
It's gonna be 46 to 12.
46 to 12. So you got a blowout here. Sumo, I know you are super confident. What do you got here?
Ain't no mercy rule in playoffs, right?
No mercy.
No.
No.
Well, my best game of the year came against the Eagles with 14 tackles. So
That was in the playoffs?
that was week. This was when we played them week.
Week 4?
Oh,
No.
the beginning of this year, right.
Yeah.
Now, we kind of seen you get kind of involved, too, a little bit on the offense this week. Can we look forward to something like that?
Yeah.
This,
Leonard Fournette.
we'll see. I guess we'll keep that to field. So who are your 2 impact players and your score?
Xavier and Justin.
Xavier and Justin. All right,
No,
what's-
Umberto.
And Berto,
If
what's
he
your
could
score?
keep his head.
Berto, your quarterback.
40-12.
40-12, another blowout. And what do you got down here? So, no, real quick, can Berto play defense or no?
Yes.
Yeah,
He can? Does he?
yeah, he can.
Does he?
No.
He was
Okay.
playing defense last week.
Oh, he was? Okay.
Yeah.
Is that when they scored?
I don't know what you're
Oh,
talking
okay.
about, but
Go ahead, Don. What you got?
Impact player, I'll take Dave.
The quarterback?
Yeah, he wanted to put points up on the board. And for us, I got JJ.
You got JJ.
Yeah, he wanted to get the Dave.
And
get a
what
couple
score do
sacks.
you got?
Everybody can play the whole game, right?
Everybody win the whole game?
63-6.
63. So you're a super
So,
confident.
so I want to make this clear. Everybody can play the game.
Yeah, like
Yeah,
no
So-
ones don't got
Yeah,
guys.
so there's no mercy rule.
We
as
could
far
drop
as-
80.
The ones and twos coming out, like, so you got to put ones and twos in, but when you're up by 30, you
No.
don't have to take your ones out
So that's the rules for the playoffs.
for the
Yeah.
playoffs. So you can score, you can continue to go at it. I think there are still some mercy rules after 5 minutes to where if the game is so out of hand, the ref could call the game after a certain extent.
Let's drop 70.
But other than that, yeah, there's no mercy rule in the playoffs. I guess for me, I guess it's gonna come down to the receivers. I think for the Eagles, I'm gonna say Sim and maybe Mousy. Can they score enough points to kind of keep pace? Because I feel like you guys have the number 1 offense in the league. They don't have the best defense. They have a better defense, but I don't think they're gonna be able to continue defensively. But can they go score to score with you
Yeah,
guys?
they probably can.
Well, not from the score you gave. And I think my impact player from the, I guess from the Colts would be, I guess it would be Roberto, just to see his first playoff game. At some point, if you guys do find yourself behind, because it happens sometimes where, and I know you guys experienced it more when Marquise was playing, but to where you guys were behind a little bit, does he have it in him, to go? Maybe you guys have to lead the whole game, I don't know. But can he deal with that kind of pressure? It's a different type of pressure.
It is, but
Yeah.
he was the one who put us back in the game
Against the
on
Pac-9.
that Pac-9
Right,
first
no,
game.
so I give it to him. The kid's got all the talent in the world. It's just when it comes to playoffs, it's win or go home.
Yeah.
True.
One and done.
Everyone will be challenged on their character, and you're gonna see who's mentally tough and who's not mentally tough. And if it's a close game, a penalty, extra point, whatever can determine the game. So that you have it. Come check us out Thursday. Eagles versus Colts rematch from last year's playoffs. Will the Colts continue their hunt for the next ring, or will the Eagles upset them? Come check us out Thursday, 6:30 at Scanlon.